Okay, so yesterday we have, I will summarize yesterday's class. So what we discussed yesterday, we have discussed about what is loosely coupled programming, what is tightly coupled programming, with a very simple example by creating simple Java class and interface. So now yesterday we have, let me run the program again. So run as Java application. So here you can see Bahubali movie titles are displayed successfully. So this by using loosely coupled programming language. So if you want to play another movie, what we have to do? Just comment it out, and another movie you have to uncomment without changing IMAX theater class. You can run any number of n number of movies without changing IMAX theater class. So let me open PDF file so that you can easily understand. So end of the session, I will share you this PDF. You can read as well. So here I am summarizing yesterday's class. You can see. So if you want to learn Spring application, we must need following these four concepts. One of them tightly coupled, loosely coupled. So we have covered yesterday. So if you what is tightly coupled, you can see a tightly coupled or tightly coupling. It refers to a situation where two or more software components are closely connected and depend on each other. So this is what tightly coupled programming language. So what we have to do, again, every time whenever you want to run another movie in IMAX theater, you must change the IMAX theater class by replacing previous movie. So this is called tightly coupled. We have seen example as well. Let me show you example. You can see right here, IMAX theater is having Bahubali movie. It will always play Bahubali movie. So it is completely tightly coupled. So now, what will you can see here in this above example, IMAX theater class always plays Bahubali movie. If you want to play any other movie, we have to modify the class by replacing Bahubali movie. So it is tightly coupled. What is another one? Loosely coupled. Loosely coupled or loosely coupled coupling means the components are less dependent on each other and can operate independently without modifying the IMAX theater class. Now, here is the example. You can see IMAX theater. We have created movie interface. With the help of movie interface, all our triple R movie and Bahubali movie implements interface. So by implementing the interface, what is the advantage? We can override all the methods from the interface. Then we can pass this interface as part of IMAX theater argument. That's it. So we can, without changing the IMAX theater class, we can run n number of movies one after the other. Okay, so here I clearly written explanation. In this above example, IMAX theater class does not depend on any explicit movie. If we want to play Bahubali movie without changing the IMAX theater class, can be played that movie. If you want to play Triple R movie, we can easily play without changing IMAX theater class. So IMAX theater class flexible to play any other movies. So here is the example. You can see clearly. IMAX theater is equal new IMAX theater by passing movie interface. Next, now we are going to explain. I am going to explain new concept. So this is one type of loosely coupled programming. Okay, there is another level. Of loosely coupled programming is available in Spring application. So I am going to explain that. What is that? So here I can see some problem is there here. What is that problem? Let's say IMAX theater is equal new IMAX theater. So whenever I want to run this IMAX theater uh, by calling the play movie method, I need to create the object, right? Similarly, yeah, IMAX theater is depend on okay, I have not created a interface object also, right? Let me show you another way. Another way also there to how to pass interface to constructor. Okay, what is the interface? Our movie class. Movie is the interface. Movie is equal to new. So how we can create an interface object with the help of child class object? So movie, I will create new Bahubali movie. This is another way by passing directly interface to IMAX theater constructor argument. So this is how also we can run Bahubali movie. Let's run as Java application. You can see movie titles are displayed successfully. If you want to if you want to play triple R movie, then just you need to change movie is equal new triple R movie. That's it. Now again you can run by clicking the link. Here you can see run button. Every time you no need to right click and run. Here you can see run button. Directly you can click on this run button. So I am able to run triple R movie also. So now, so here I can see some problem is there. What is that problem? So IMAX theater is depend on movie interface. So without passing this movie interface to the constructor, IMAX theater cannot run the movie. Why? Because both these two are interface and the IMAX theater both are tightly coupled. And also here we need to create the object. We need to create the object, right? Movie class object also we have to create, and IMAX theater object also we have to create. So without creating objects, Spring will provide triple R movie object and IMAX theater object. Let Spring manages all the bin objects by Spring itself. Why we need to create these objects? No need. We no need to create these objects directly. Let Spring create by itself. Why? Because, so let's say this is one simple program. Let's say you have enterprise application. Enterprise application will have hundreds of modules, 50, 100, let's say 50 modules. Some projects can have 20 modules. Some projects can have 50 modules. Some projects may have 100 modules. So if you have 100 modules, so each module will have its independent bins, right? So these many number of times we have to create the objects. Movie is equal new or triple R movie. IMAX theater is equal new IMAX theater. So n number of objects we have to create. So again it is one more dependency to run our to play our movie. So let's create these two objects by Spring itself. Spring will taken care of these objects. We no need to create these objects. Spring will take care of it. How Spring will take care of it? Let me explain you. So yesterday we have commented one line right here. You can see Spring application dot run by default method. Spring Boot is having this method. So in traditional Spring application also, we can create application context. I will tell you how we are going to create. Let me organize the import. Why this error is giving? So Spring application cannot be resolved. So what we have to do? We have to import it. You can see there is a import option. Import org.spring.framework. So Spring application is available in org.springframework.spring boot package. So let's organize the import. So now it is imported successfully. So you can see, so what I'm going to explain you now, application context. There is a concept called application context. You can see fourth one I have mentioned here clearly, application context. What application context can do? application context can manage our beans by itself. We no need to create these objects. Application context is going to manage our beans. So how it is going to manage? Let me explain you. You can see there is a run method. So run method, if you click on this run method, you don't need to bother about whatever code here. Here Spring will take care. This is Spring predefined class. So here run method, what it is returning? Configurable application context. Configurable application context. Just copy this class. Just go there. What is returning? What is the return type? You can see run method is run method returning configurable application context. So now control V. Just I am pasting the class. Control V context is equal Spring application dot run. So Spring application dot run method will return application context object, configurable application context object. So now these two objects we no need to create it. So these objects will be managed by application context. So what we how it can manage? Let me explain you. So for example, let me go to movie interface. So here you can see at the rate component. There is a component annotation. At the rate component annotation. At the rate component annotation. So what will happen? So what we are going to tell Spring Boot or Spring application. So Spring, please create my bean class object. So to specify uh, to create our bean class object, what we need to do? At the rate component annotation. At the rate component annotation. So what will happen the moment you execute the program? Spring container will Spring container will create our all the beans managed by application context. So application context will create all the beans which are there in our project by specifying at the rate component in class level or interface level. So you can see now. Let me go to Triple R movie. So Triple R movie is also just declare it as a component at the rate component annotation. What you can do, just click on at the rate, see control space. If you do control space, you can see the all the organized imports. You can see component, just import it at the rate component. The moment you declare a class as at the rate component, what does it mean? Spring will take care of these beans. We no need to create the objects of each component. Spring framework will taken care by automatically. We no need to create the objects. And next, so there is a IMAX theater, right? IMAX theater, if you see here, there is a movie. So some people can may have doubt. Sir, here IMAX theater is there. So IMAX theater also Spring only will taken care. IMAX theater object also Spring framework will taken care. So I am going to declare that component for IMAX theater also. So now again there is a dependency. So you can see here IMAX theater depend on movie interface, right? So who now we are not going to create the movie object during the runtime. So who is to create? Spring itself is to create. So to specify that child objects, if you want to specify, if you want to get the instance from application context, so what we need to declare? We have to declare at the rate auto void, at the rate auto void annotation. The moment you declare at the rate auto void annotation, application context, whenever it is initializing the object of IMAX theater, at the same time, the dependent object also will be created. So everything will be taken care by application context. We no need to create the objects. So now how we can access, how we can run movie now? Let me comment out our existing code. So if you want to run the movie, which object we need? First we have to run the theater, right? So first we need a theater object. So now how we can get the theater object? With the help of context dot get. There is a method called get bean. Get bean method is available in application context. By calling this method, you just need to pass whichever bean you want, whichever object of instance you want, you just need to pass that class. Now I want to play the movie, right? If you want to play the movie, we need IMAX theater class object, right? So now let me pass IMAX theater dot class. That's it. So what it will return? It will return IMAX theater class object. See, you can see now. So what context dot get bin method is returning IMAX theater class object. So we no need to create the object with the help of new Triple R movie, new Titanic movie, new IMAX theater. We no need to create at all. Who is going to manage application context with the help of application context? Let me create a meaningful name so that people can understand application context object, and then let me let me create a instance name as application context so that people can easily understand. So here you can see the IMAX theater object is equal application context dot get bean IMAX theater. How application context is going to create our IMAX theater object? So because we have declared IMAX theater as a component, we have declared IMAX theater as a component during the runtime. During the runtime, whenever a class specified with at the rate component, application context is going to initialize the IMAX theater. Okay. So now what I need to do, just call that play movie IMAX theater dot play movie. So you might get doubt now. Sir, this is okay. We have created the IMAX theater class, IMAX theater instance we got from the application context. Now we are going to play the movie. So now how IMAX theater, how application context knows which movie is going to play. How? Because there is no triple R movie level. I have declared triple R movie component class. I have declared as at the rate component, and there is a Bahubali movie, right? Bahubali movie. So I have not declared at all. You can see I haven't declared Bahubali movie as a component. Which one I have declared as a component? Triple R movie. So application context knows, okay, I have to run the triple R movie because triple R movie is declared with at the rate component. So let me run the program. You can see the console. Triple R movie titles are displayed successfully without creating manually IMAX theater class object and triple R movie class object. Who is managing all the objects now? Application context. This is another level of loosely coupled programming. This is main feature in Spring Framework. Spring Framework will provide all the beans which are all available in our package. So if you go to in Project Explorer, there is a package, right? So any package, n number of if you have n number of packages, if you have n number of classes, if you declared any class with at the rate component, then application context will create all the instance during the runtime. So we no need to bother about it. Now another dependency is we have removed another dependency. We no need to bother about creating objects. Spring itself will take care of it. Got it right? Now let's say now another one guy is asking me, so sir, you have play, okay, let you have declared triple R movie as a component. So application context aware of it. So triple R movie has to run. So now let me declare Bahubali movie also as a at the rate component annotation at the rate component annotation. Now everybody will have question, right? Now IMAX theater, which movie is going to play? Now Bahubali movie also having at the rate component and triple R movie also having at the rate component. Now IMAX theater, which movie is going to play now? Now application context got confused. There is a two components are available. Those two components implements movie interface. Bahubali movie class implements movie interface. Similarly, triple R movie also implements movie interface. So movie interface we have declared it as a at the rate component. Now application context will have confusion now which movie I have to play. So let me run the program. What Spring Framework is going to tell. You can see here clearly parameter 0 of constructor in IMAX theater required a single bean but two were found. Required a single bean, two were found. So application context got confused now. I cannot run the movie because I found two components which is related to movie interface. I don't know which movie I have to play. So that's the reason there is an error. Movie titles are not displayed. None of the movie titles are not displayed because of confusion came to application context is not able to create the any of the movie class object. So uh, how we can fix this issue? So we can fix the issue with the help of telling that application we are going to tell to application context. We are going to tell to application context. Let me run my triple R movie by specifying at the rate primary annotation with the help of at the rate primary annotation. The moment you declared a class as a at the rate primary, any class which is implements movie interface, none of the movies will not going to execute. Only priority will goes to triple R movie. Now application context will know. Okay, this is the movie is a primary object. So I have to run triple R movie only. I no need to bother about rest other movies. So let me run the class by clicking the run button. You can see there is a run button here, green color. So I just click on that button. You can see here, you can see triple R movie executed successfully. Now how it is executed successfully by making triple R movie as a primary primary triple R movie has a priority of primary. So whenever you are executing IMAX theater, so triple R movie will be executed. Let me, if you want to execute Bahubali movie, what you have to do? Just delete primary in triple R movie, then declare into Bahubali movie. Wrongly I copied at the rate primary. That's it. Triple R movie I have removed at the rate primary. I have declared it in Bahubali movie. So now if you run the program, which movie is going to run? Bahubali movie. You can see movie name Bahubali. So sir, there is another movie called Titanic. So I want to display Titanic movie also. What we can do? Remove from here or you can comment it out also. If you want, you can comment it out. And then which movie? There is a Titanic movie also. Just go to Titanic movie. What you have to do? Titanic movie, you have to declare it as a component and then you have to declare it as a primary. Now, which movie is going to execute? Execute Titanic movie. You can see movie name displayed Titanic. movie. Okay, so this is how Spring is going to initialize all our beans. We no need to create the beans. Spring is going to create all the beans. We no need to bother at all. This is another level of loosely coupled programming in Spring application. This is very important concept. So you must learn actually. Okay, so now you guys are understood, right? So let me go to PDF file. You can see application context. Let me go to application context. I won't return. Huh? Yeah, you can see here application context, which is the programming construct the framework uses to access components from the inversion of control. Inversion of control in the sense Spring container. Spring container will manages the creates the application context, and then application context will create all our beans, whichever bean you want. So our Spring application context will be going to create all the beans. Okay, so this is one example I have given in below. So in traditional application, actually you may not see configurable application in application context. In traditional Spring application, there is a application context. Class path XML application context is there. Depends on the different Spring version. This class name will be different, so you no need to bother about it. You have to just concentrate on application context. So Spring is having feature called application context, which is going to manage all our beans. Now next, what we discussed again, one more main feature called dependency injection. You can see another feature called dependency injection, and we got to know what is tightly coupled, we got to know what is loosely coupled, and we got to know what is application context. So application context is going to manage all our beans. Now another most important concept, dependency injection. Most of the interviewers uh, ask in interview question actually, dependency injection. What is dependency injection in Spring framework? So if you go to here, there is a, so here what is the dependency injection? So now let's say we have, if you want to run theater movie, which object we need? Theater object. And theater object, if you theater object, if you want to run theater object, you need movie class object, right? So who are all managing those objects? By application context. This is what dependency injection Spring is going to help us with the help of dependency injection. You can go to IMAX theater. You can see here constructor we have created, movie constructor we have created, right? We have declared it as a at the rate auto wire. We have declared it as a at the rate auto wire to create the movie object by application context. So Spring is providing us movie class object during the runtime. We are not going to create the object. Spring is going to create the object. This is called dependency injection. IMAX theater is having depend on movie interface. So movie, if you want to if you want to play the movie, IMAX theater needs movie class object. Now movie class object who is going to create? Application context. So movie is having dependent on, sorry, IMAX theater is dependent on movie interface. This object is going to create application context. This is called dependency injection. IMAX theater, who is the dependency for IMAX theater? Movie interface. So movie interface object is created by application context. This is called dependency injection. Without creating object manually, Spring is providing uh, objects to us. So it is removed completely dependency on our movie interface. That's it. So one more thing here. Dependency injections are two types actually. Three types are there: constructor injection, setter injection, and field injection. Let me show you PDF so that you can easily understand. You can see dependency injection or we can call, some people can ask what is IOC. You no need to confuse IOC or dependency injection. Both are technically both are same. Dependency injection and IOC container, both are not different, both are same only. Some people may call dependency injection, some people may call IOC, inversion of control. Inversion of control in the sense, all the beans will be taken care by application context. That is another way we can call it as a inversion of control. IOC in the sense inversion of control. Inversion of control in the sense all the beans injection will be taken care by application context with the help of dependency injection. So you can see dependency injection is a design pattern that removes the dependency from programming code so that it can be easy to manage and test our application. Dependency injection makes our programming code loosely coupled. How it is loosely coupled? We haven't created the theater object, we haven't created the Bahubali object, we haven't created the triple R object. Who is created? Application context is created. Okay, so now dependency injection, three types of dependency injections are available. What are those? Constructor injection, setter injection, and field injection. Now you can see here whatever injection we are doing here, constructor injection. You can see here I have created one constructor. With the help of constructor I have created a movie object. With the help of constructor I have created movie object. How you can ask question, sir, how make sure how Spring is created this object as a constructor injection. I am going to prove you now. How I can prove? Let me write. uh, Before that, we have to debug actually internally. I am going to show you how Spring is creating our bean class objects. I am going to explain you now. If you see, let me close, let me run the application again. If you run the application, you can see there is a info logs. There is a logs called info logs is available. So now if you want to debug the application, what is happening internally, if you want to get to know what we have to do, we have to enable logging debug logs. As of now, by default, Spring can display only info logs and warning logs. So Spring framework will not display debug logs. So some people may not aware what is logs and all. So generally you are going to print, we have printed this message, right? How we have printed this message? With the help of SOP, system.out.println. Similarly, there is a concept called logging framework to display the messages in console. So there is a logging frameworks like SLF4J. I will explain you later. You don't need to bother. As of now, just remember it. So there is a concept called logging framework, SLF4J, log4j. So Spring will automatically log the all the messages with the help of logging framework. Okay. So by default, it will display info messages. Now we are going to debug what is happening in background. How Spring is created my beans, IMAX theater object, and Triple R movie object, and Bahubali movie object. Now let's debug now. How we have to debug? So we have to enable the logging framework. So if you see here, only info messages we can see. So we don't know what is happening in background. So now I am going to debug now. So there is a property called, you can see application dot properties. This is the resource of the application. This is one resource for our application. There is application dot properties file. Here you have to declare logging dot level. You just need to define logging dot level dot. So which one we are going to debug? We are going to debug Spring framework. We are going to debug Spring framework. What is happening in background? Let me show you. So Spring framework is available in which package? Org package. If you see there, if you go to Bahubali movie, what is the primary and component annotations are available in which package? Org.Spring framework package. This is the base package for Spring technology. This is the base package for Spring framework. So org.Spring framework. We are going to debug org.Spring framework. So let me go to application content application.properties. This is common for if you want to debug any other package, you can easily debug what is happening in background. This is the base level, logging.level, and whatever you want to debug, you can just mention the package name org.Spring framework equal to debug. That's it. So logging.level.org.Spring framework equal debug level. I just enabled the debug logs. Now let me run the program. You can see n number of logs. N number of logs. If you see here, n number of logs are there. Earlier, debug logs are not at all displayed. You can see n number of logs. All are debug messages only. So this is what happening in background. Now I will explain you later in depth. Now what we are discussing? Uh, Application context is created our all the bean classes. Bahubali bean class object, Triple R class object, and IMAX theater class objects. So now I am going to show you that part. Let me search. So in the console, right, you just need to search Bahubali. Let me copy the class name. Go to Bahubali movie or Triple R, anyone. Triple R movie. Let me I copy Triple R movie. You just need to search Control F. If you do Control F, one pop-up window will open and paste your Triple R movie. Then search into the logs. There is a sorry. I have created. I have executed. Which component I have executed? Let me go to Bahubali movie primary. Which one I have declared as a Triple R movie? Right? Triple R movie. Yeah, Triple R movie I have declared. I should see actually. Let me search Triple R movie. You can see here. Triple R movie. The moment you enter, click on enter, you can see once you open the pop-up, Control F, you have to enter the class name that you have to search in the logs. Just click on find button. You can see Triple R movie dot class, which is created by, you can see now, let me show you another way. Left hand side, you can see left hand side. Let me keep this one, keep it aside. You can see IMAX theater class. If you see left hand side, it is identified with container, Spring container and application context. You can see identified candidate component. What it is identified? Identified candidate component. So Triple R movie class we have declared as a component. The moment we declared as a component, so Spring container is identified candidate component as a candidate. So component candidate is identified. You can see Bahubali movie is identified. IMAX theater is identified. Movie interface is identified. Triple R movie is identified with the help of by declaring component. Okay, by declaring component. So now let me search Bahubali movie. Bahubali movie. Let me search. What is the mistake? Let me copy the movie name properly. If you by mistake if you type incorrect name, you cannot find. Click on the console, search and type find out. So now you can see Bahubali movie also. Bahubali movie, IMAX theater, movie interface, Triple R, Titanic. All our beans are identified and it is all our beans are created. How it is created? I am going to explain you now. So you can see there is a constructor. Just let me put one message in constructor. I am going to prove you, sir, whether it is application context is created instance with the help of dependency injection, right? With the help of whether it is constructor injection or setter injection or field injection. Let me go to triple R movie. Which movie I have declared as a primary? Okay, Titanic movie, right? So let me go to Himax Theater. Here, for testing purpose, I will write system.systm system.out.println. Okay. So here I'm just going to write constructor Imax Theater Imax Theater constructor. So I want to prove you whether application context used constructor injection or not. So now I'm going to run the program again. Let me run the program. Program executed successfully and Titanic movie is displayed. Why Titanic movie is displayed? Because we have declared Titanic movie as a primary bean. Okay. So let me search IMAX Theater constructor message. If you open the console, if you search for it, you can see here. Are you able to see? IMAX Theater constructor is log. It was logged successfully. IMAX Theater. You can see here. Auto wired by type. There is a type called auto wired type from B name IMAX Theater via constructor injection. You can see constructor to be named Titanic. So application context created movie class object with the help of constructor so that we can see the in console. So now you can ask, sir, how we are going to perform now setter method. Let me comment it out. Or before that, I want to explain. So this auto wire, right? This at the rate auto wire annotation, you can declare as a field level as well as constructor level. Both the places, any place you can declare. Let me remove from here. I will declare it as a at the rate auto wire in constructor level. Still, our program will execute either field level, either constructor level. You can declare at the rate auto wire. So application context will create our objects with the help of constructor injection. So let me search again whether you got that message or not. What is that constructor? Okay, that message is gone. Let me copy the message. IMAX Theater constructor. I'm just going to find out in console. You can see IMAX Theater constructor is being called. So application context created our class with the help of constructor injection. Okay. So now we are going to perform setter injection. How we can perform setter injection? Let me comment it out. This code setter method. How we can create setter method? We no need to write the code manually. Just right click on the class. There is a option called source. You can see here generate. You can see generate getters and setters option. You can see here getter methods and setter methods you can create. Just click on that. What I need, I don't want getter method. So I just want setter methods. Click on setter method. Just generate the click on generate button. So you can see our setter method is ready. So now what we need to declare? If we want to perform dependent object, Spring has to manage, right? We are not going to create the movie object. Who is going to create Spring application context? For that, what we need to declare? At the rate auto wire. All the child class object, we have to declare it as a auto wire. Spring application context will create instance. So to prove you whether it is a constructor injection or setter injection, what I am going to write here, one system.out.println. So I am going to write setter injection. Let me run the class. Let me copy this. We have to search in the log. Let me run the program. Now let me search the log. Setter injection. Yeah, you can see clearly there is a log printed SOP, right? Setter injection. Now application context is created our instance with the help of setter injection. Okay, so this is how we can create whether it is set we can operate all the managed objects with the help of either setter injection or constructor injection. Now you have question, sir. Okay, you have created two ways, by using constructor and by using setter method. Which one is the best one, or when to use constructor injection or when to use setter injection? This is most important interview question as well. Most of the interviewers will ask, what is dependency injection? After once you explain, right? Dependency injections are three types: constructor injection and setter injection and field injection. Immediately he will ask, so when you are going to use constructor injection and when you are going to use setter injection, you can simply answer. So you can simply answer whenever, if constructor, right? For example, if you go to theater IMAX theater, if you create a constructor, right? If you constructor, whenever, if it is always mandatory. For example, if you want to run the movie, you need a, if you want to run the movie, definitely you need a movie, either it is Bahubali movie or Triple movie. You must need an object. So that means it is a mandatory. If you don't pass movie object, your the IMAX theater cannot run the movie. So it is a mandatory. So it is a mandatory to provide triple R movie or Bahubali movie, whichever movie you want to play, you must pass the IMAX theater as a constructor, right? So it is always mandatory. So whenever it is mandatory, better always go with constructor injection. Whenever it is the instance is always mandatory, then better go always with IMAX theater, always with constructor injection. So when to go setter injection? So whenever there is a class object, IMAX theater class, I am not depend on movie. Let's say triple R movie is not depend on IMAX theater. In that case, it's really not needed. That time go with setter injection. If it is optional, any class object during the runtime, any class object, if IMAX theater doesn't have any dependency, that time you can go with setter injection. You no need to create constructor injection. Constructor injection always you have to use if it is mandatory only. If it is not mandatory, you have to go with setter injection. Okay, you understood the concept, right? So now let me go to IMAX theater class again. So there is another approach. We have seen constructor injection, we have seen setter injection. There is another injection, field injection. So what is field injection? Again, let me go to here. So now I will comment it out this setter method. Let me go to movie is the right. So this is the field. I just created the field, but I have not created setter method and constructor method. Just declare it as a auto void in field level. Declare it as a field level. Now let me run the program. You can see still Titanic movie is displayed without declaring constructor, without declaring setter method. I just declare it as in field level at the rate auto while. There is no need of constructor. There is no need of setter method. So with field level, we can inject our object. So who will now in that case? who will create this object? This object is going to create by Spring container. This object is going to handle by Spring container with the help of, again, application context only. So without constructor, without setter method, it is going to create by the concept called reflection. So I will explain later. Reflection. So with the help of reflection, so Spring container will create movie object without constructor and without setter method. Very, very easy, guys. Now everybody knows what is dependency injection. Dependency injection in the sense, so I need to concentrate on writing business logic only. Who will create my dependent objects? So if I want to run the IMAX theater class if I want to execute IMAX theater class, I have a dependency on movie interface. So who is going to provide this interface? By Spring framework with the help of application context. This is called the moment during the runtime. Whenever I need a dependent object, Spring container will help us with the help of application context. Spring container will create our all the objects and it will is managed by Spring itself. This is called dependency injection. How many types dependency injection? Three types. One is constructor injection, another one is setter injection, third one is field injection. So you saw here how to create constructor injection, how to create getter injection, and how to create field level injection. Okay, guys. After completing the class, right? You can make it note. You can go through the video. You can create. You can buy one book and make it note all the points and make it ready. Otherwise, every time you have to go through the video. Instead of that, take one book and keep it behind yourself behind yourself, and just write all the notes in that book, and so that you can easily prepare in future if you want to prepare it. Okay, I will share you document as well, but it is best practice to write in notebook. Actually, it is always best to, I will always recommend, don't go through the PDF. PDF is in mobile, it will be available, so it is not flexible. Actually, every time you have to watch the mobile, every time you have to watch the laptop. Instead of that, maintain one notebook and note it all the points, so that one time if you write, if any one time if you write all the concept, you will remember also, and you will get to know all the concept also. So it is very, very easy to remember in future. Okay, make it note. Okay, so one simple program is able to cover all the concepts. All the concept. Earlier, most of the people, right? Whenever I ask dependency injection, can you write one program? Can you write one program for dependency injection? Can you write program for loosely coupled? Can you write a program for tightly coupled? Can you create me application context? So many people are confused, and tightly coupled, they will learn one example. Loosely coupled, one example. Dependency injection, application context. So different types of examples, they will keep it in their mind. They will by heart that. They will by heart it, and they will write the code. So if I ask any, can you write any another example? People are not able to write during the interview. So now you know what is tightly coupled. You know what is loosely coupled. It's simple. One program is explained all the concept. It's simple program is explained all the concept. Guys, this is most important concept. This is the main core concept for spring application or spring boot application. You must practice. These are all the technical terms. Later, from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start our first spring boot application. We are going to create our first spring boot application, and we are going to create APIs, and we are going to perform database operations, and we are going to connect with MySQL database, and we are going to connect with H2 console in-memory database. So and we are going to introduce JPA, Hibernate, and JPA, Java Persistence Object. So everything we are going to cover now onwards. If you know this basic core concept, whatever I discussed these two classes, remaining rest all very very easy, very very easy. You must know these core concepts. Okay, so some people asked me actually, sir, what are all the concepts you are going to create? Can you explain me what are all the coding we are going to? No one is knows, don't know, right? So let me explain you now. So before that, let me stop the recording. I will explain you what we are going to do.